when you are setting off, when you're embarking on a journey, or you are in pursuit of adventure, or if you're planning a trip with some friends, you will either consciously or unconsciously take a series of actions that organize around, again, an either conscious or unconscious approach to certainty and to mystery. You can probably think of people in your life today that fall into either the bucket of the people that dial in every single detail of every single hour of whatever trip or event or vacation or whatever it is, that thing, that length of time, that pursuit of adventure, that journey. And you have other people that kind of don't care, or at least on the surface they don't care, which you might have also experienced at one point in your life, can sometimes become a friction point between the planners and the non-planners. But the point I'm trying to make here is, whenever you start something, whenever you go on a trip or you embark on a journey, there's this, what I want you to consider is the idea that you can choose how open or closed your hand and your heart and your mind are towards this. I would consider myself, in my whole life, I would probably very happily sit in the seat of the planner, the person that wants to dial in every single detail and account for any possible sideways thing or inclement weather or whatever the case. And as I've gotten older and as I've spent enough time around people that have showed me an alternative, the more I've realized the value in letting the journey create moments of unexpected value, things that go well beyond your ability to, before even taking the first step on the journey, estimate or predict what the outcomes might be. And having that openness, that consenting to the mystery, I'm finding more in my life, might help you arrive at whatever that thing is that led you to pursue or to embark to begin with. This is sort of like it's a starting point, and it's the first step for me on this journey, which I've planned a little bit for, but don't have yet the clearest direction with lucid detail around what those outcomes might look like. I've arrived at a point in life where one of the, where I think one of the things that wakes me up and motivates me to go out into the world every day is the idea that time and attention are limited resources, and I can leverage my time, I can leverage my resources to drive value, real value to real people, or I could not. it's one of those things where you have the awareness of something that's in your sphere of control, and like once you see it, you have the choice to act on it or pretend like it doesn't exist or ignore it. One of the things that you can't unsee, more or less. So in the same way where, hold on a second, kind of in the same way that different explorers throughout history have had this broad strokes vision of what they were aiming at when they set off, when they embarked on their journey. Maybe it's Shrek and he's trying to find some princess. I don't know why that came up as the first example. Whether it's Columbus and he's sailing for the Americas, which might not even be accurate. I haven't fact checked world history in a really long time. Whatever the case, there's this broad overarching vision for that which they seek to discover. And what they find transcends their ability to predict or to estimate, to basically be in that position of not having taken a step yet. And I find myself in a similar position where I know that I want to drive real value to real users, to real people. And I hope that and I'm committed to the regular practice of moving and acting without having everything figured out, without having everything planned and optimized and perfected right out of the gate. And moving forward in spite of being really stressed about the fact that I'm not going to edit this video because I also think the value of having a bad first draft as an approach to writing. It's something that you learn to consent to as a writer in the process of pursuing greatness, or the process of pursuing clear understanding and, ultimately value to a reader. I have ideas and I have plans. I have predictions and I have estimates of scenarios in which I might be able to deliver value for people. But tonight, with this video, the aim here is to start to lean into the discomfort, to just move forward in spite of the uncertainty about what shape, in what direction this will go, what the outcomes will be. Tonight, I'm moving forward with the confidence that if I aim at bringing value to people, even if I'm not entirely sure on day one what that value might look like, if I'm not entirely sure who those people are, if I'm not entirely sure if what I have to say or the thoughts I have or anything like this actually makes any sense, it's entirely possible that the first person that watches this rallies and is able to somehow convince any subsequent person that watches this that this is just absolute garbage and trolls me, and then my whole life implodes. Well, I guess I'd have to figure that out. To be honest, this isn't my first attempt to try to get something out of the door. And I told myself earlier today that I wouldn't let myself go to sleep until I create a thing and just send it. I'm realizing very quickly the value of structuring and strategizing videos such as this. Probably will come in handy over time. I'll conclude with the idea that someday I'll get to look back at this and have a fair assessment of, I don't know if fair is the proper word here, but more data-driven. I think someday I'll be in a position where this process of articulating thoughts coherently and clearly becomes more ironed out, becomes more streamlined, and I'll have a better sense of what value I'm offering people. And I think I maybe, depending how generous I am in the future, maybe I will extend a little grace retroactively to day one me doing this. And if not, then I think I can take myself way less seriously than I am right now and maybe laugh at how little I didn't know at the time. Day one.